just break him down systematically and be patient and pick my shots. And then who knows? Maybe I take him down, ground and pound him. I knock him out. Maybe I fucking throw a flying knee. I don't know. I've been working on some shit, bro.
Let's do it, man. John Salter, #1 ranked Bellator middleweight. You got your chance, or you're gonna have your chance to get your hands on him. You called him out, man, and was Bellator just like right on board with the whole thing? Like right when you called him out, did they tell you like, yeah, man, it's gonna be on and cracking?
Not necessarily. I think I had a lot to do with it. It made sense though too in the matchmaking department anyway. So when I made the call out, it made sense. So people that heard me make the call out were like, okay, that makes sense. The matchmaking at Bellator wasn't really trying to make that happen right away, but I went. I took to social media. I kind of called him out publicly on social media. He was in my comments as well. I was in his comments, and he pretty much verbally agreed to the fight. And we haven't even like, negotiated anything in particular. So it kind of just made sense to, make that fight happen.
I wonder why they weren't so intrigued by that fight. Like you said, it makes sense in the rankings. And, Austin just fought, and he's like right there in between you guys. So, like, were they thinking like you should fight somebody behind in the rankings? Was that kind of the thought process?
I think so. They were thinking about having me fight maybe one of the other guys that are ranked below me, because the only other guy that's ranked above me, well, Costello was, but then he got pulled from inactivity.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much anybody was like, in the talk about fighting. I know they're really high on Tokov, because he's 30-2 now.
Yeah.
He didn't look that great in his last fight though. Not to talk shit. He's a great fighter, a veteran. I've watched a lot of his fights. He's tough. He's a really good competitor, but he didn't look too great in his last fight. And it's not a fight that really excites me for me stepping up the ladder, if that makes any sense. I want to fight the guy that just fought Gerard, or Gegard, not Gerard, Gegard. Gegard. I want to fight the guy that fought Gegard and beat him better than Gegard beat him. And obviously Austin's my teammate, so I'm not looking to fight him unless it's like for a title or something. I would fight him. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I think I've had this conversation with you before. I mean, I tell everybody the same thing, but it just makes more sense in my head. And it's also a fight that they booked for me, that I signed and that I wanted to do, and ended up getting taken away. I'm not quite sure what happened, but yeah, now I'm getting it, and it's in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm pretty hype about it.
Yeah, that's another bonus, right? That it is in St. Louis, Missouri. And have they said anything about this being a title eliminator? Because it's obvious, right? Like everybody that watches Bellator or watches the sport knows that this has to be the next guy who wins this for the title.
I would assume so. Nothing is set to say, hey, if you win this fight, you're getting a title shot. Nothing's set like that. I'm okay with it. I'm not trying to rush. I'm 10-0, soon to be 11-0, and I'm just here to make money, have fun, fight, and get that gold. I'm gonna get that gold this year. I know I am. It doesn't have to be my next fight. It could be a fight after that. I just want to fight Musashi while he's in the spot he is in right now. He said he only has like 2 more fights left, and I want to be one of those fights for sure.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, that last fight, right, where he wants to fight 2 more times this year, and he wants to stay active like that. So yeah, that's good news for whoever's next in line.
I'm guessing he wants to fight out his contract and then go maybe box or something.
Yeah,
make some money boxing Anderson Silva or Jake Paul or whoever.
Yeah, he's planting those seeds right now at this moment. So
which is smart.
Yeah,
it's smart. He's getting older. He's fought for a really long time. He's had a great career. It's sometimes it's a good idea to just kind of plant some seeds for other ventures in your career that don't necessarily have to be in MMA.
Completely agree. And going back to, Salter, he's only lost to Bellator champions. When you look back at his resume, which performances impressed you? You know what I mean? Like, there were really great performances by him.
I thought a pretty good performance that he had. It wasn't actually a great performance, but it showed how gritty he was when he fought Costello. Beat him in the first two, and the third he got hurt. He was losing the round, and pushed through the round and took him down and survived and won that fight. He showed a lot of grit in that fight. Also, I've seen him fight Chitty, and that was a good fight. He just systematically broke that dude down and submitted him, and it was a masterpiece. Don't get me wrong, this guy is a killer. This guy's really good. He's probably one of the best in the world, but I'm gonna make him look like he's not, and I'm gonna be just as good as any other previous champion he's fought because I'm the future champ.
And his last fight was for the title against Musashi.
Yeah.
Musashi eventually went on to finish him in the third round. Before the fight was stopped, how did you think he was looking against the champ?
He didn't look that great. No. I take that back. There were some moments where he took Gegard down, held him down, looked good, but kind of looked like a fish out of water when when Musashi got back up, and he didn't finish him. And hold up, I had to let this dog out. But yeah, anyway, there were some moments he looked good, but kind of as the fight played on, you can notice that he started to get uncomfortable and just started to break down, and then Musashi just stayed persistent and ended up finishing the fight in the third. Musashi looked really good in that fight, not gonna lie.
Yeah, and he also looked good in his last fight against your teammate Austin Vanderford. Man,
Yeah.
that fight did not go down like many people thought. Man, they thought that Vanderford had a really, really solid chance of taking out Musashi, and Musashi just went in there and, I don't know, I guess a motivated Musashi. How much of a surprise was that to you?
Wasn't a huge surprise. I thought the fight would play out a little bit different. I thought Austin could pull off the win, but it doesn't surprise me that that it played out like that. Like, anything can happen in the fight game. So when something like that happens, it doesn't surprise me necessarily. Yeah, things that surprise me are like when people break their leg or some shit, or like or Peter Yan getting like an illegal knee, weird stuff like that, super weird stuff, like very abnormal stuff. But looked like Austin might have hurt himself while he shot in. Also looked kind of uncomfortable on his feet for a little bit. Maybe had some nerves, maybe had somewhat of an adrenaline dump. I'm not quite sure, but looked like he got a little nervous, shot, and then like hurt his neck or something, and then like shelled up, and I guess like just felt like he couldn't continue. And Musashi just, ground and pound him, got the win, and shit like that happens. So, I guess I'm not surprised at the result. I guess I am surprised about how it might have went down. Like, maybe I was more like thinking like Austin would go like out on a shield, like fucking knock the fuck out or some shit. But yeah, slightly surprised, slightly not surprised though.
Yeah, and in your last performance, man, 71 seconds. That's all it took. You didn't even really go to the ground in that fight, and Huck Body was known for that.
Yeah, I took him down, let him up, and I was like, and he was like turning around. I'm like, "What are you doing, bro? I thought we were fighting."
Yeah, that was a weird fight in some ways. You know what I mean? Like how
Very
it
weird.
played out.
Yeah.
And could that performance be a satisfying one for you, or do you feel like, man, there could have been more? I wish I was in there a little bit longer just to show a little bit more.
I wish I was in there longer. I could show a little bit more, and that's why I'm in the fight game, dude. I like to showcase my skills, and I got to showcase some, but like, it's hard when a person's not fighting you back at a certain point. He was fighting me back for a little bit, but then ended up like, whoa, I think I overestimated my my skills against this dude, and just shelled up, turned around. I was like, what the fuck? This is weird. But I mean, my coaches, everybody says, hey man, it's a grown ass man. He's a fighter. He has a winning fucking record, more than a winning record. I think he was like what? He won he won a contender series. So he's one of he's like the best middleweight in the U.S. and that wasn't in like a major promotion. So the fact that I did that to that kid, like that's a grown ass man, you know what I mean? But and it's like I got paid. You don't get paid based off like what your performance looks like unless you get performance bonuses, but we don't do that in Bellator. But yeah, man. My coach just kind of told me otherwise. Hey, man, that was a great performance. You're good. Don't worry about it. But for me personally, I wish I could have done a little bit more.
But you could still build confidence off that, right? Even though you thought you could have done more.
Of course, of course. The fact that I'm that much of a level up against, I kind of knew it, but like that I'm that much better than guys like him, just shows my my progression in my career and where I'm headed.
Yeah, and knowing it is one thing, but proving it is another, man. Because like I know some things, and I could be delusional, right? But I try to go prove it. They're like,
there's
"What
a
are you
lot
talking?"
of delusional people out there, bro. A lot of keyboard warriors, a lot of people that are tough on the internet, you know. But I'm not one of those people. I'm the dude that likes to show up and say what up, and it is what it is. I'm real, motherfucker. Everything I say is real. So let's go. But
for sure.
Yeah, some people get a little delusional and they show up and they're like, I didn't prepare for this.
Nah. Once you get like, especially in fighting, man, like people talk crazy shit, and then once you get hit in the face one time, you realize, this is real. This is real deal. This is not like me sitting in front of the screen yelling at somebody. So it's a different story.
People have a lot of opinions when it's not like screen to screen, but as soon as it's in person,
I see that a lot over the years. Training camp, man, for this fight. Seems like there's been a few guys, in your circle that are getting ready for fights. How has training been the last couple of months, and like who have been the partners, for you this time around?
So obviously I've been sparring a lot with George's camp. He has to fight Colby, so I was helping him prepare. I sparred a lot with Roman Feraldo. Also got some work with Bo Nickel because Bo Nickel came down for George to help him out. So I got a few sessions with him. Thiago Santos, I was helping him get ready for a fight too. He was helping me out. So I got a lot of different looks. I got my grappling looks where I needed. Shoeface was here for a little bit, but I think he dipped off to Thailand. But yeah, man, just looks everywhere. Like I don't necessarily care who it is. It's like I show up and I just try to get better every day. And then depending on the look I have that day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily have to be a grappler. It doesn't have to be like a high-level striker. Like for my fight, I know a lot of people are very particular about their partners they pick for each camp. I'm getting less and less particular about it because I'm starting to understand how to just develop game plans based off styles and just being able to execute on that day. So it's like maybe I fight more of a striker on Tuesday Tuesday, and then on Thursday I fight more of a grappler, and I have to change my my approach to the fight or to the sparring, and I'm getting better at like just adjusting on a fly, adjusting weekly, and just getting all around better.
That's the hardest part, I think, about developing as a fighter is being able to like switch yourself to a different style of what you can implement, because a lot of people naturally they just go back to their foundation. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, after some.
Well, you can still work off your foundation. It's just a matter of what particular tools you use to deal with a certain style. So sometimes I change my style, but sometimes I fall back to my fundamental and I navigate my fundamental based off the guy I'm training against or based off the guy I'm fighting against. I try to use my strengths to kind of like negate their strengths and or expose their weaknesses. We could go on about this all day, but yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. Sometimes I'll completely change my style and do something different, but then like I'm learning how to switch stances and shit. I know how to I could strike with a dude a whole round if I need to. I could use a lot of wrestling if I need to. Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I am a wrestler. I fall on that foundation a lot. When shit gets tough, I like to brawl now, but like it's smarter to wrestle. So, I'm starting to understand like the little spots I need to adjust my style to be a little bit safer.
Yeah, yeah, you've shown that though. I mean, in the last couple, you were striking when you wanted to strike, and then you wrestled when you needed to wrestle, and to get the win. I think that gets lost in it sometimes, right? Some of these guys could get lost in just trying to be an entertainer, to
Yeah.
go out on their shield, like that's a common saying. And when you get to the level that you're at right now on the doorstep of a title, you just gotta get that win.
That's true. That's true. And man, the thing is you can make like my style is actually pretty fun to watch, like because I don't like to lay and pray. Like I'll take you down, I'll strike with you, I'll take you down, I'll mat return you, I'll suplex you. I'm not necessarily trying to hold you on the ground anymore. I'm just trying to make you work. And then when you get back up, I'll strike with you again. So and for the most part, a lot of people told me my style is very exciting because I keep a very high pace. I almost want to say I almost hate it, but it's like it's somewhat similar to Colby's, and George's style, and like who else? A little bit. I'm starting to pick up a little bit what DP does. I'm picking up some of his like traps and stuff. I'm working with Dia Davis this camp. He's my boxing coach pretty much. So picking little bits and pieces from certain fighters that I really like, and I try to implement it into my style, and hopefully the fans like it, but it's going to win fights too. I think the fans will like it, and it's going to win fights.
Well, if you can blend those three styles together, shit, that's a crazy style right there,
Dude, right?
DP,
Oh, you can inside
Colby.
box. You can fucking blitz people and fucking kick and do Muay Thai, and then you have cardio like Colby, and you can wrestle. Oh, Colby's wrestling technique isn't really that impeccable. He just has great cardio, and he's a workhorse, and he keeps that pressure on. Or if I can implement like a high level wrestlers like Khabib, shit. That's the one thing I need to get better at is more my top control like BJJ wrestling.
But like you were saying earlier about like how you take guys down and you kind of maul them for a second and kind of let them up, and then maul them for a second and let them up, and then that gets them like gassed, and then you let them stand up, and now you get to have to stand and trade with you, with your development in the boxing. Hey, if you could implement that every fight, that could be like a Khabib style, right? Where it's almost
a Khabib
unbeatable.
style that's more like shifted to striking.
Exactly.
That's kind of because striking's not it's not as hard. It's like I can strike longer than I can wrestle. Like it's just less muscle groups I got to use. It's just like I don't know. I will say this though, Khabib style works really well. Like Islam style works really well. That wrestling heavy style works really well. It's just not the most exciting.
No, it's not. But
no, I don't necessarily love it. But it wins fights. I guess I'm trying to do something similar, but like more shifted to the striking side.
Yeah. It's just the evolution of the game. I mean, that style is gonna win for a while, and then eventually something else is gonna come along. Something changes, right? One thing about this fight coming up, right, that a lot of people are going to be wondering is Salter testing your ground game. That the last guy was supposed to test your ground game, and you were like, yeah, I want it. I want the guy to test my ground game. So Salter, he's high level though. You know what I mean? There's levels to this.
He's high level.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's higher. I've trained with higher level guys though, but that doesn't mean shit. It's a fight. It's different. He's good, man. I can't knock the dude. He's a world class fighter. World class grappler, but hey, I've been going with Abu Dhabi champions since I've been at ATT, so I know how to deal with those guys, and I can grapple with those guys. So when I get to the ground with Salter, if I choose to, that's the thing. I think it's going to be more of like my choosing to grapple with him down there. Or if he does take me down, I think I can get up at will. But I don't think it's going to be much of a problem, to be completely honest.
And this guy is going to be the first one to actually try to like really execute takedowns on you. Right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think it's an interesting fight, man. Just in those aspects, the takedowns, the wrestling, and then if it goes to the ground game, it's like you said earlier, a big step up in competition. but
Yeah.
you know, it's the level where you feel like you're at, and it's
I
gonna
think
make
it's a
it for
good
a fun
I
fight.
think it's a good style matchup for me to showcase my skills, especially my striking skills and my grappling skills. Who knows? Maybe one round is a fucking grappling match, and then he realizes, holy shit, Johnny can grapple really well. Like, fuck, I didn't anticipate this because I don't really show much grappling in my fights. But when I train, obviously I roll, and I know how good I can, how well I can roll, and yeah, like I know that he's not gonna throw anything that I can't handle, so I'm ready for it.
What do you think is gonna happen in this fight? That's the thing is, of course, he's gonna probably try to take you down and try to grapple you.
Yeah,
But I feel like you love to throw the hands, man, and you've been showing that lately.
yeah.
Is that what is like in your mind as like one of the ways that you really want to finish this fight?
I want to sprawl and brawl this dude. Like I want to make him like fuck. I can't really take this dude down, or if I do, he gets back up. I'm gonna break him mentally like that. Break him physically by just like going to his body, fucking hit him in his face, um, taking away his calf, his leg. Just break him down systematically and be patient and pick my shots, and then who knows? Maybe I take him down, ground and pound him, I knock him out. Maybe I fucking throw a flying knee. I don't know. I've been working on some shit, bro. I'm
Spinning
getting
shit.
not spinning shit is coming. It's not it's still in the works.
Okay.
It's not it's probably not gonna come out fight time, but like knees are looking good, man. I've been practicing some knees, some kicks, some head kicks and shit. Like, but I'm gonna hold off on any crazy like head kicks or like anything to like put me in jeopardy to get taken down. I'm more gonna focus on boxing the first couple rounds, and then later on maybe throw the kitchen sink at him and have some fun with it. But yeah, sprawl and brawl, take my time. Once I break him, then I'll do what I want. Like maybe I take him down, maybe I take him down, submit him, or ground and pound him, or whatever. I think I'm gonna be able to pick and choose what I want to do eventually.
All right. March 12th, Bellator 276, St. Louis, Missouri. Back
Yes,
home.
sir.
Always good catching up, Johnny, man. Good luck on the rest of the camp, man, and
Appreciate it, man.
and all the best in the fight.
Thank you, bro.